Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, class. This is Professor Coyote, welcoming you back to our Let's Play of Civilization 6, our American run under the firm leadership of Theodore Roosevelt. Now, since our dust up with the Sumerians is now finished, we can definitely go back to more peaceful, scholarly kind of talk. And this is actually going to be one of my more interesting anecdotes about President Roosevelt that I think is one that's not actually heralded too often. And also kind of tells you about the way that the man governed. Now, early on, after he became president, this will be 1901, he's now 43, and Teddy Roosevelt knew that he had to kind of play the balance. The country was getting a bit different. It had ideas that were both old and new. And so one thing that he did feel was that he was perfectly progressive of was race relations. And in particular, he actually met with Booker T. Washington. Now, for those of you who know, Booker T. Washington was an early activist and scholar for African American rights at the turn of the 20th century. Now, Teddy actually had Booker T. Washington as an advisor, an unofficial advisor, and the way he became a sort of unofficial advisor was actually really funny. He invited Booker T. Washington to dinner at the White House so they could talk and, just generally accept him as any other statesman. Now, of course, unfortunately, being the time that it was, a lot of politicians in the South kind of didn't like this idea of their president meeting with Booker T. Washington. So, they told him that he couldn't have Washington as a dinner guest anymore. So, wanting to placate them and a little bit, well, Teddy didn't have Booker T. Washington as a dinner guest anymore. Why no? Mr. Washington was invited under business to attend at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, that was just the kind of man that Teddy was as a president, was that he knew how to kind of balance the way people were, but he still put forth his own ideas as to how he thought things should have been. So with that, let's go right into, as I said, we're in a more peaceful time now. We have eliminated the Sumerians, so now there are 7 great cultures in the world. We are up to a total of 5 cities, mostly along the coast here. We have Uruk, which has been renamed Portland, and we have St. Louis, which is going to be probably one of our major mining towns, because we've got 2 irons here, which will help us upgrade all of these warriors to iron as soon as, it looks like it's saying that's terrible, in 29 turns. But you know what? I think what we might just end up doing, there we are, let's just buy one of these tiles. We have plenty of money. Heck, we got 50 gold as it is just from stealing it during the Sumerian issues. So let's buy, let's go for this one. It's got food, science, and production as a base, as opposed to this other one that's just got science and production. So, but dang! Now we have this wonderful science, which will help boost of course, our sciences, food, and production. Now, we do kind of want to, we're going to keep this citizen here on the wheat field until St. Louis turns into 2. We'll probably put somebody right there in order to get that science and the production. So, this is how basically the quick way to get things going is you just buy it straight out. And now, St. Louis has that access to that wonderful iron mine, which I believe we still need to actually do it. I'm sorry. Got tourism, apparently. We still need to actually use that builder that we're building to do something with it before it becomes an actual resource. Just something to consider. In fact, let me double check here. Blink. I should be able to. We'll find out next turn when they're actually exist, because right now, yes. All right, so we've got that. It'll pop a citizens, two citizens, blah, 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 next turn, and yeah. Okay. Now we go from that sort of patriotic music to... Come on. Okay. There we go. Use our city walls to get rid of the barbarians there. Alright, so as I said, we are going to St. Louis. It's going to grow to 6, so we kind of do want to keep the wheat field with some... And in fact, we've already populated, so we've got that science, and we've got the... Yes, we've got the science and the production going. Let's see. If we hopped over to one of these productions... Still take 20 turns. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. There we go. It'll take 15 turns for the builder. And it will grow in probably 10 turns. It's saying 0, but I'm going to guess it's 6 unless... Oh, 0. It won't grow at all. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to keep that off then, and then go that, and then it'll grow in 11 turns with this. Which, we'll just keep it like there. Okay, so we'll go back to 6 turns, and 20 turns for the builder. Well, that's just going to have to how it's be until we get some of this stuff worked on. Okay, now we have something to build. Looks like, we have something to build. Probably in Portland, yes. Portland has something it needs to build. Alright, so let's... Thank you. No. Thank you. Well, as I said, we're going to fix our granary to help it to actually be nice and productive. We will heal these guys. Probably don't. Probably just fortify them. Alright, so yes, we need 1 iron to upgrade, meaning that the builder has to actually take place over here. So let's see. We have a builder going. We have the builder going in St. Louis, but that's going to take 20 turns. So we'll see. I do want to get up St. Louis going. Alright, so we'll have them fortified. We'll just fortify mostly just the whole lot of them. So skip that turn. We'll move these guys here. Okay. Gilgamesh has been defeated. We need it. Okay, so Philadelphia does need amenities still. They need 2 of 3 amenities, meaning we still need to build some amenities because we got temporary amenities, it looks like. So, and we aha, that's what. We lost our status as suzerain to Hong Kong, which is why we haven't gotten their extra stuff yet. Because someone, it's like they took it from us. Probably the same people that are competing with us for Amsterdam. Now, I kind of wish you could pull envoys back, because, I mean, Valinus, I mean, it's nice for the culture, but I don't really care about them anymore. Oh well. Let's see. So we'll get another influence in 5 turns. I'm sorry, not in 5 turns, in, like, about 10 turns. Right now, it's just puttering things along. Puttering. Probably end up putting an amenity in Philadelphia once the walls are finished to keep them happy. Can't really get rid of that, looks like. Alright, so I wish you could kind of get rid of some of these. Oh well, let's see. Let's go up that way. There's our next turn. Aha! Those barbarians have been a nuisance to all. Thank you for your help. Yes, Barbarossa. I totally took care of the barbarians to help everybody out. Sure, whatever. Alright, speaking of barbarians, you know, we'll just put them to sleep. I believe sleep just means that they won't do anything from that for a while. Alright, now we've got 2 trade routes. So we can either go back to the one we had, because I believe, yeah, it's the one towards Amsterdam. Or we can take a new one. We don't need to worry about Amsterdam too much now because they still, I mean, we've got the gold already. So really, it's just wherever we want. Millennia does give you +1 +1 to production. Portland actually gives it quite a bit, but our roads are already starting. Oh no, our roads have already been built, but some of these still are in the process of. This is showing just basically the roads that will be built. Besides, we're already going to Amsterdam, so I don't know if doing a second one there is a good idea. So tell you what we'll do. Why don't we go to Aachen? Since we like them, we'll get quite a bit from everything. And then it'll build that road. Now, the downside, keep in mind, if you build a road to them, it makes them easier to come to you. Meaning that while I probably should have built some trade routes to my other cities to make it easier, because I'm going to now, it's too late to fix it back, but the Germans will be able to use that road just like I'm using that road. So that's not a downside. We essentially have to keep making these guys happy to make sure they don't end up hurting us. Let's see. Probably still going towards that great general. We don't have the money otherwise. We're going to come up on recorded history here in 2 turns and mathematics in 2 turns. Okay, we have a nice rice field here. So this whole area is looking pretty good for colonization. We've got citrus. We plop down a river here because it's still recommending that we're still at the point where putting it near rivers is most recommended to help growth. We would need to build the aqueducts to get there. Alright, so we still have to renew our friendship, basically, because it looks like it takes a while. Alright, so let's declare friendship. Oh, that's not good. He doesn't want to be friends anymore. Interesting. I'm not liking that. Now I really wish we didn't take that trade route. Let me see if we can fix it. Nope, looks like we can't fix that. That's not good, because I'm now worried that he's not taking my friendship. He's still friendly, but he's not taking the friendship. So we'll have to keep an eye on Barbarossa there. These guys we're just going to fortify until healed. The battering ram can just chill out. And same thing with the archers. They're just kind of chilling out right now. So this is going to be one of those quick... we're going to go through a few turns this session as we look into things. Now, I'm going to guess that Barbarossa is annoyed at us still because we became overlord of Hong Kong for a little bit. They could also be annoyed at us due to our domination, because after all, they're very warlike. They want to be the ones to make the domination victory, not us. But we'll see what happens with that. Okay. I don't know why they're going here. You know what? Oh, there's some barbarians that are looking to get shot. Alright. We're gonna finally get these guys to just chill out because they're not really doing anything. Okay. Here, we're gonna go boink! And get a few more XP. It's 1 XP, but hey, it's more than they had before. Aha! So that must have been where that settler was going to try and go up anywhere north. So, actually, what we're probably going to do... Might as well do something with our archers there. Take him out to the barbarians. We need to put production somewhere... Ah! Portland again. Okay. So, our commercial hub in Portland needs to get fixed. That's this area here. It would take 14. It's recommending doing that, or building the Hanging Gardens, or rebuilding the walls. That might not be a bad idea. We do have Berlin and Aachen right here. Right now, walls are for everything else. But I do like having the commercial hub to give us another trade route. So let's go do that, and let's see if we can monkey with the production to get that faster. Because actually, I don't think we can. Yeah, we've already maximized production. And everything that's 2 gears is already covered. Now, they will be growing in about 20, which means we've already got probably the one thing we can do right now. Ah, well. Alright, so that'll build in 14 turns. If worst comes to worst, we can always stop that and do another one. Let's see. Boston's covered. Washington's very slow. And Philadelphia will be finishing their wall next turn. St. Louis, meanwhile, is just sort of puttering along. Okay. So they're going to equal to Boston in 4 turns. Interesting. Okay. Let's keep going on. Next turn, we're going to be picking a new civics. Ah, there we are. Whew. That kind of spooked me. It looks like the reason that he said no was because he was going to herself. Now, of course, we'd be happy to let the world stand united as friends because we're not stupid. Barbarossa does have just a little bit more stronger than we are. So...
Without mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. But everything is math and everything is numbers.
I've lived through some terrible things in my life. Some of which actually happened.
Ah, yes, Mark Twain. You know, especially that we have Teddy as our our president. It's always wonderful to hear Mark Twain's amorphisms. Let's see. This will get us economic policy, so our campus district adjacency bonuses, and we can build a great library. That might be a good idea to do. All right, let's climb the tech tree. We have almost everything. We have everything in classical. We are too shy getting towards medieval, and we can hop to some of those medieval things. It is still practically begging to do celestial navigation. Let's see. We can do machinery, stirrups, and apprenticeship. We can do the industrial zone with that. Or military tactics, which just gets us pikemen for 7. So, what we're going to do here, since it only takes 5 turns, I think we're going to finally clear all that out. Gonna get close to the medieval era by getting those. We finally probably should start doing some stuff with all this water, since we're heavy on the coastal. In fact, Washington's practically begging for a lighthouse right there. Okay, let's go up the civics tree. Now, we're really good on civics. So I think what we'll finally do is, since we got recorded history done, let's do theology. That's only in 8 turns. It's actually the quickest out of any of these. And that'll get us temples, the Mahabodhi temple, and scripture. Mostly it's just to kind of fill the tech tree on that than for any real goal. But that should help us hop into medieval pretty good, because I know that the Germans are already medieval. Huh. Oh, okay. Sorry. That check mark does this world tracker, which will show you what the panels are. Okay. Now, if you also notice here, we're starting to get like this symbol for tech as opposed to the flask. I'm not sure if that's always been that way, or I don't know. Anywho, still don't have iron yet, but St. Louis is getting close to getting that third person. So yeah, I kind of wait. As you can say, we kind of threw a little bit of money out, but then again, it doesn't matter because it just made we're making 24.2 gold a turn, so we're doing pretty nifty on that. In fact, probably, yeah, we got enough to buy that builder, and then that way we can move St. Louis to something else. I mean, it'll build another builder later, so let's put it on a granary instead of a builder. Okay, now Philadelphia is begging for that theater, for either probably the entertainment because it needs amenities. So let's do it that, and let's put it. Yes, we'll remove things. That's kind of the point. We can remove a jungle. We can remove jungle. We can't really buy a new tile. I hate to get rid of any of these. Alright, what we're going to do is remove this marsh. We don't really build there often anyway. So we're going to have that in 17 turns. And see, like I said, we're already using all of these, so until we get a new tile, which will be 7 turns, it would remove something useful that we're already working on. And the marsh only gave food, so it's fine. Then we'll probably have an idle citizen in 5 turns. We can see what Civ 6 does with its idle citizens, because it used to be you could take citizens out and they would essentially become scholars, but I think that you still have to have the districts for that. Now, we do have a commercial district, so maybe that'll boost those. We'll see. Washington's going to have its own entertainment district soon. That should help with its own amenities. Probably end up buying that lighthouse as soon as it's done. Okay. And because we built the builder, like I said, we're going to be going here, and then probably the wheat. The idea was... Oh, right, support. Okay, so you could do an escort with that, but, we don't need to, so we're just gonna have the archers go and play with the spearmen. Here, I believe that is just coast. And what? Oh, they can finally get a promotion. So they can scale cliff walls, or we can take tortoise. Let's do that. That's got to be interesting. Scaling the cliff walls, which means they'll be able to basically just hop over there instead of not doing any. Instead of having to go around. Okay, so we're going along pretty well here. Let's do another turn. And now that Germany is niking us again, I'm not too worried about that trade route. I was just not sure if we were going to have to deal with them. Can't you do anything? You don't need an order. Okay, I guess. They can fortify. Oh, okay, this is the next turn. Like, what is everything doing all of a sudden? Oh, in fact, we can name them now. So let's just name them for fun. We'll name them let's name them the Wild Hunters. Or actually, since we're out of Portland, why don't we name them the Lumineers? out of Portland. Okay, I'm sorry. There. Well, naming the Dandy Warhols. I know it's a bit of a goofy name, but once again, showing my own sort of northwest bias here. Well, these guys, we will upgrade them as soon as we get iron, because they already have two. Once they start becoming more and more elite, you can rename them. That way to make them stand out. I don't think you can rename them yet. No, okay. It's just, yeah. Alright, so we're going to skip them. We've got them. Apparently, Valinus is just happy to have that cart just park outside of us. Sure, why not? Why not just chill, right? Alright, well, and with that, we're going to stick a pin here. We're going to call it good for this episode. It's been a bit longer-ish. So, I hope you have a very excellent rest of your day. And with that, class dismissed.